welcome everyone. About to have a really nice conversation about men's mental health with Stewart and myself, Simon Drummond. I'm the founder of Unaeon, and it's great to have you here. We had a really inspiring talk privately last week, and I was really inspired by your story and you as a person, your openness, and how much you're willing to help people. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with you, and welcome.
Thank you. Very kind of you. It was a really good conversation, a really connected conversation, which obviously has led to this second meeting. And a little bit about myself. I'm Stewart. I am the founder of Sobafit Academy. And what Sobafit Academy is about is supporting men to overcome their fears, empowering men to do better in life, to get into the best shape that they can, which obviously, has a reflection on their confidence, their relationships, stops the reliance on vices, naturally improves their mental health, and really changing men's belief systems that may have been inherited or from learned behaviors, to believe in themselves and to know that if they have a path and they have a why, a strong why, that anything is possible and anything is achievable. Myself, I've been into fitness since I was 27, now 39. It was on the back of a relationship breakdown with my eldest son's mum, and as normal, I turned to something, and it was the gym, to build confidence, because I was always someone who felt shy and awkward, but had many different masks, and the masks were allowed, overconfident, cracking jokes all the time, maybe at other people's expenses as well. And that was the mask that I wore, but really I didn't like going out in public. I didn't like going to the pub, for example, with my brother. And the gym really did turn my life around, in the sense of it gave me a purpose. And then, like anything, you start to stack the evidence, and you see that actually you can achieve something, and working on yourself, working on your body, working on your mind is, it seems, is one of the hardest things to do for people, to get out of that comfort zone. And then that's where my my path has led me to here. I chose to give up alcohol in August 2022. Actually, it's my 27-month sobriety anniversary today.
That's incredible. Congratulations, Lee. That's really amazing.
It always seems to fall on a very special day, or when I'm I'm speaking to someone, or these moments always seem to happen at this time. And it'd be fair to say that although my life was on a upward trajectory from where I was before, from being homeless, pretty much addicted to drink and drugs at the weekend, to having to rebuild my life from the ground, from rock bottom. Sometimes is always a good way, a good place to build from, because there's nowhere else to go. and my life was on a, it was going up. I met my now wife, and we were starting to build a life together.
Mhm.
But there was still the reliance on the vices for me, especially at weekends. You may have heard the term taking the edge off, stress
Yeah.
turning to alcohol. And
Yeah.
there's a few moments that, alcohol destroyed my life, and I still continue to use it. And continued no matter what. And I had all of these different moments, like my son was here, said my eldest son who lives with his mum. It was one New Year's Day.
Mhm.
Obviously New Year's Eve had been drinking excessively, and he was leaving in the morning. I couldn't even get out of bed to say bye, and I was ashamed. But still, even after that, continued drinking. And then August 2022, after a holiday in Ibiza, I believe it was. And again, I was prioritizing the drinking, not really being present, because all it was about was drinking and chasing the party and chasing the pleasure. And I don't know, I came back from there, and something just changed. Something told me that I needed to make some changes. I knew I was going on this path of coaching, should we say. Also felt that it was contradictory as well, of promoting health and wellness and still self-sabotaging, because there's no health benefits whatsoever in alcohol. And I made that decision, and it's fair to say, the evidence that I have in the last 2 years, 3 months, is there to show physically, mentally, financially, relationships that I've repaired with people who I never thought I would be able to. So it's been a real journey, but the journey is only just beginning, because this is the good life. This is a life of purpose, not pleasure. And this is what I coach inside Sobafit Academy. Helped many guys drop, alcohol, class A drugs, porn, social media, doom scrolling, all of these low level habits that are comfort habits that keep people stuck in their comfort zone. And that gives me the purpose, because seeing the change in people, seeing their life improve, their relationships improve, their children looking at them like they're superheroes, because they're ripped and got abs, and seeing daddy working out. And I always say that your kids, your children will do as you do, not do as you say. And my as I said, my son, he's 15 years old. He goes to the gym, and after he's like sending me like, "Dad, look," I had to get the biceps. But he'll send me videos, and makes me so proud that he, at his age, he's on the right path already. Like, I can see that he's on a growth path, and he's gonna, he'll be a beast, and by the time he's in his early 20s. But it's more than that. It's the mental discipline and resilience, and that you learn in the gym, or not even in. You don't have to be in the gym.
Yeah.
I really I got my best results, my first like real good results during lockdown.
Mhm.
In my home gym in the garage that I put together. I mean, we didn't have that much else to do, did we really? So it was a
Yeah.
case of would I be drinking,
Mhm.
or would I be working out, and would I be doing positive things? And luckily, at that point, I was choosing to do the healthier things,
Mhm.
and that's what led to me doing my coaching badges, because I realized I don't know, it's something just spoke to me and was just like, I love this. Like
Mhm.
I love doing this. Like, why wouldn't I? And then yeah, everything else has developed from there.
Yeah, you really found your purpose there, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's purpose, finding my purpose. And the biggest bit of advice that I would give to someone who maybe feels stuck, and you know maybe they've got things in their life where they feel like they should be set and they should be happy,
Mm.
and I mean a job and a family and money even, but something's missing,
Yeah.
which is normally why that kind of leads to self-sabotaging and
Mhm.
drinking and drugs or gambling, because that something's missing.
Mhm.
I just urge them, people to learn a new skill, you know, because when you learn a new skill, and for example, starting a business, and just do it, just don't plan and think about it, just do it.
Mhm.
You then also make new connections. You make
Yeah.
you start to change your surroundings, change the people around you. You heard of the saying that you're like the five closest people around you is
Yeah.
a reflection of you. And
It's really
I,
true.
yeah, I believe it to be
I really do. I've
true.
noticed this in my own life as well. When starting my business, surrounding myself with new people, I started making behavioral changes myself.
Hmm.
With my own like fitness. I wanted to focus more on my fitness because I was around people who were caring about their fitness. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so it is so true. Like even as an example, my wife hasn't drank as long as I haven't,
Amazing.
and she was pregnant, for a little while of a little while back. So our son
Mm.
was born last September. But yeah, it's an example of your surroundings and your environment. Like, I believe
Mhm.
your environment, if you live in an environment where it's stressful, and
Mm.
there's no coping mechanisms in place, there's no way to get a release, i.e.
Mhm.
going to the gym,
Yeah.
meditating, um or people have different kind of um systems that they will use as relief, whether it's going cycling or swimming or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I'm an advocate for just moving your body.
Yeah.
And when you do feel that you're starting to feel anxious or stressed out, nothing better than just dropping and doing some burpees, or going out for a 20-minute walk even.
Yeah.
A good 20-30 minute walk is proven. Um, it is actually proven to combat anxiety and depression
Yeah.
and overthinking. So these such simple things that, for me, maybe I wasn't listening at school, but for me, these things are so important to be. educated
Yeah, that's
from
absolutely true.
early, you know, like it's coping mechanisms and
Yeah,
understanding that you are responsible for you.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like you've just touched on a point that is very important. I feel, well, I don't know about you, but when I was in school and growing up, there was zero attention to mental health. You know, it was all, you know, we get taught our maths, our English, our science. We don't get taught personal development. Yeah, you know, doing some sports and PE and stuff, that's great. That, you know, does instill some kind of discipline in you, but no one talks about, oh, your emotions, your mental health, you know, the importance of like, you know, managing money, the life
Yeah.
skills essentially. So I totally agree with you, Lee. I
Yes.
wish there was more awareness of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think I go as far as saying I think the whole education system is completely broken.
Yeah, I agree.
And in the sense of, you know, go to school, go to university. Oh, by the way, you're going to get yourself in a lot of debt by doing that.
Yeah,
Must buy a house and get a mortgage. It's going to put you in even more debt. And get a job with a salary where you might get an increment of 1% or 2% a year.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fair to say that my whole mindset on the um, possibilities of achieving success, and it doesn't just mean wealth success. It means the success of freedom and having
yeah,
something that that has your purpose, and you're not just working for someone.
yeah.
Because if you are, you're working for their dreams, but can you work? Can you work for your own dreams? Of course you can, but we're
Mm,
not, we're not encouraged to do that. Um,
mm,
and then if you're from a family background, like my childhood was, a normal childhood, single parent. When I say normal,
mm,
um, and yeah, kind of struggling to get by, probably living off, living in debt.
yeah,
These are all beliefs that I inherited and
mm,
recreated in my early stages of life, and it's taken
mm,
me then, X amount of time um to come past that, or to rebuild.
yeah,
And again, I think these have a real big impact on um people's mental state, their obviously their belief system, because it's a case of having to rewire your belief system.
yeah,
And I've had a lot I've had a lot of that done in having a coach who, Beatrix, shout her out. She is amazing. Yeah,
mhm,
trauma coach, but mindset, rewiring and reprogramming beliefs, and it's been absolutely life changing for me to be able to pull the root out of the
mhm,
things that was holding me back,
yeah,
um, and to know that I am worth it. I am capable. I am not my thoughts. Um, and to just continue to, when you continue to believe in yourself, stay in your lane and stay focused,
mhm,
anything is possible, like what you're achieving with this um, brilliant concept, which I absolutely love, hence
thank you.
why I'm on this call with you as well, because I think it's something that's so needed,
Thank you.
a safe space for people to really talk about, in a vulnerable way, how they are feeling, and to not be
Yeah,
fearful of being trolled, and to actually be able to get the support. And obviously, I know we spoke about your plans for it, and where people can come and get the support that they need. And I guess I'd say in the structure of what I have done, like how I've been able to rebuild
Yeah.
my life,
Mm.
because there's a real system that's needed, and it's it's the physical, it's the mental, it's
Yeah.
the belief system, as I'm saying, and then it's
Absolutely.
the ongoing support, the community.
Yeah.
So I think it's absolutely amazing concept, and like yeah, wish you all the best of it. I think it's
Thank
great.
you. Thank
But
you so much.
one thing I would just like to say to anyone that is feeling stuck and feeling, maybe they're reliant on alcohol or drugs, and they do want to change. And I speak to many guys daily. Um, and what I would say is you need to be prepared to go underground for 6 months. That's what
Mhm.
I did. 6 months of, just head down, working on myself
Mhm.
physically. Um, I built my habits with an extreme routine.
Mhm.
So sometimes I was getting up at 3:30 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m., gym,
Mhm.
reading, like personal development, Robert Greene, obviously I know you're a fan as well.
Yeah, I certainly am.
Yeah, James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Yeah, love James
All
Clear too.
yeah, brilliant. There's so many
Mm.
resources out there. But what that enabled me to do is it enabled me to, as I said at the start, is build that evidence that I
Yeah.
am disciplined.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
disciplined person,
Mm.
and I can beat the comfort of, I can sacrifice my sleep.
Yeah.
And now before anyone, people come for me and say you need to have X amount of sleep. I get that. And now that I have the evidence, and I've got a solid belief
Mhm.
system in my, with my disciplines,
Yeah.
I now get up at 5 a.m. But it was important for me to do that, to do something really extreme,
Uh,
to create a new belief system, and new evidence of, like, yeah, I am disciplined.
mm.
Um, I am not who I was before.
Mhm.
Um, I can, you know, I can do it. That's the key.
Yeah.
Is another key thing is your language, how you speak to yourself.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
you can, um, you can, you will, I am,
Mhm.
like all of these,
Yeah.
these languages is so important with
Yeah.
reprogramming your beliefs.
It's absolutely true. You just made me think of this concept of the three P's. I don't know if you've heard of this. Probably you have, Lee. It's positive thoughts, positive actions, and positive interactions. So
Yeah,
the things that you're saying to yourself, the actions you're taking, just like you were describing there, getting up early so that you could build that confidence and that belief in yourself, like, yeah, I can do this. I'm a
yeah,
disciplined person. Sometimes all you need is, I'm a big advocate for actions over positive thinking. Positive thinking is great, but I feel like it comes from the actions, like what happened with you.
yeah,
You decided, like, oh, I'm going to take this action, and then you get the confirmation of, oh, actually, I'm a good person. And your thoughts change. Your thoughts change
yeah,
from the action. And like you said earlier about the people you're hanging around with, that positive interaction of um, being around people who are going to build you up instead of crush you. Because so many people, I feel, either don't care or have their own issues and they push that on you.
mm,
Or some people are jealous and they want to see you fail. They don't want to see you rising up. So it's like
yeah,
finding those people who um, believe in you, who have the same goals. I'm a
yeah,
big believer in like finding like-minded people who are in the same space and also want to grow, want to
Yeah,
develop themselves, have that like growth mindset that we talked about last time.
yeah,
Um, it's really true. And you're a clear example of that. You know, you took positive actions, your thoughts
yeah,
changed, you believe in yourself, and now you're having these positive interactions with people, trying to help people, which I think is so inspiring, really.
yeah. There's another. I saw something this. I think it was this week. It was. I'm not going to take credit for it because I just saw it. Like most things, you know.
Yeah.
Alex Hormozy said I was watching a video of him and Simon Squibb, and he said you have the be, do, have. And he said you can cross out the be and the have because the only thing that matters is the do.
Yeah.
And that really resonated with me because I was like, you know, it is so true. Like, so many people, like I was saying earlier, are always planning, you know, planning to do this, and
Yeah.
you know, the being a perfectionist is what holds people back in the sense of like, and I'm speaking from you know, from experience. Like, I just need to get this right. Just need to do it. Need to, and
Mm.
especially if you're in a position where you're learning something, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's never going to be perfect because you're learning, and you have to embrace sucking for a bit. And
Yeah.
even, you know,
It's true.
even if that mean is when you go to the gym and you know, you don't know what you're doing exactly, and you know, if that is the case, obviously I'll help you out there, just so you know. But you know, people need to just step into the fear, and you know, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Um, because as soon as you do that, you know, if you've got an anxiety about something, as soon as you do it, you know, guarantee it's like, oh, actually, it wasn't really that bad at all,
Yeah.
because you straight away you've got the evidence that you can do it.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
so true.
and it goes for many different, you know, scenarios in life.
Mm.
You know, there's yeah, many examples that I could give where I haven't done something before, and you know, before, you know, I was really suffering with anxiety, which definitely enhanced or not helped by the alcohol
Yeah.
um, consumption. You know, I just, oh, I can't do that. Can't do that. I won't do
Mm.
that. So because I'm telling myself I can't do it, I wouldn't even try.
Yeah.
Um, this is this is how I see my role as a parent, is to say to my children, you know, there is no can't, like, you can. And I even say to my daughter, I've seen you do that before. I've seen you do it before. And even if I haven't, I'll say, I've seen you do it before. I know you can do that.
It's so
And then
great.
give her that belief to you know, to, oh yeah, I have. And then naturally, you know, she'll try, and you know, there's never a failure, never a failure, just a lesson. You don't achieve something, you know, if you don't get
Mm.
it right the first time, you'll definitely learn something from that first attempt.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the next time, you know, you've got a better shot at it. So, you know, why not try, and you know, make it easier for yourself. Like, it never
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
anything that you believe that you can or can't do is both true and false, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so true. And if you're not even going to try something, then you're not even going to be able to have a chance to achieve it. So you may as well just
Exactly.
try. Even if you fail, you can branch off and try something else or
Yeah.
try it differently. And
What
it's
do
so
you
true.
think the reason why people what do you think the number one reason is for people not to try?
Well, that's a really good question. I think there are a couple of reasons, probably fear. Well, there could be many different reasons. Could be
Mm,
trauma, could be fear, could be an addiction. It could be anything really. I think it all comes down to I've asked myself this question a lot of times because I'm really interested in motivation. Like, why can sometimes people do certain things and other times just not? Because there's been times in my life where I've wanted to do something, but I haven't had the motivation because I haven't been in the right place. And yet there were other times where I was just either so sick of suffering that it changed my whole
Mm,
like outlook. I was like, yeah, I don't want to actually feel like this anymore, so I'm gonna take some action because I want to change. Or other times I just wanted something like, okay, I can see that I want this. I'm gonna go
yeah,
after that. But I feel like people have different moments. No one's motivated all of the time to change. But I think it takes either a moment of suffering or a moment of wanting more or a moment of like clarity or realization, like, oh, okay, I'm more than this, or I
mm,
want more than this, or life can be more than this. And sometimes that comes from someone having an inspiring thought that they share in a book or something that you read, or sometimes it comes from someone having a conversation like this, which I think are vitally important because sometimes someone can watch something and think, oh, wait, this is possible.
yeah,
This person like you, Lee, has done this. It's
yeah,
possible. So if this person can do it, why not me? Um, or it might just be, some kind of experience where someone decides that, okay, they're going to take a chance on a new skill or a new relationship or a new friendship or anything really. And then that changes their life. So I feel like it's such a hard thing to quantify because it's kind of different. It can come from
yeah.
suffering or like inspiration, but I think the thing that underpins it all is some kind of inspiration, right? Or some kind of something you want, something you have a
Deprivation.
realization and an inspiration together
Yeah,
with that realization and inspiration. That's what starts the motivation and growth. You
yeah,
you feel just different, and then you start adding on that, like, okay, I'm a new person, so I'm trying new things, and then somehow naturally you just attract different people.
yeah,
Like with what I'm doing with Union, since it's about mental health and well-being support and helping support people and empowering people, um, I've drawn just naturally through doing this, I've just drawn in different people who are more like me
yeah,
and who've been through similar experiences who have found inspiring.
yeah.
Which has made me want more, which has made me feel better.
Mm,
So it starts this upward spiral instead of the downward spiral of like, addictions or like depression or anxiety. You have the upward spiral of, okay, positive thoughts and those positive friendships and interactions and positive actions that you're taking. So,
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's yeah. My my view on it is that it comes from motivation comes from deprivation.
yeah, that
So
makes
if you
sense.
you know, for example, like if you're looking for a partner, it's because you feel deprived of love, maybe sex,
Yeah,
like, what you're feeling deprived of something, so you're motivated to go and try to do something to fill that hole.
yeah,
And
true.
whatever way you kind of wrap it up, whether it's, starting starting union, for example, like you
Mhm.
just said there, it's like your deprivation has motivated you to help people overcome the things that you've experienced.
Yeah, it's
And
very true.
it's exactly the same, it's exactly the same for me and for my
Mhm.
business and for my
Yeah.
purpose. And in that sense, I can't lose and you can't lose because,
Mhm.
I've made some brilliant connections and friends. And people say, oh, when you're a coach, you shouldn't be friends. But, I've connected with people on a real deep level sometimes. And um, sometimes, especially like with the guys that I'm working with, they feel it is a safe space to speak with me rather than with their mates on site or
Yeah.
in a workplace that like, why are you doing that like gym stuff, like, or just come to the pub, and because um, when you're trying to improve yourself, you're shining a light on other people as well, and people don't like that, and
Yeah.
it really I digress, but what I'm saying is, no matter what, the success of what is deemed success of the journey, the lives being impacted makes it all worth it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And what you're saying about deprivation being the source of motivation is absolutely right. Like the times when I've made the biggest changes is when I've felt in need of something and I decided, oh, I'm going to go after that. I want that. I have two different things in my mind. One is about men's involvement in mental health. I'll get back to that point. The first one is about lack. Um, Someone that I know, she sent me a video that was talking. It was a TED talk. She just sent it to me before this conversation, and it was talking about how um, men often act out because they have unmet needs, essentially. Like lacking love, lacking affection, lacking intimacy, lacking support system, and so people turn to violence, alcohol,
Yeah,
drugs, or not even these things, but people get ill, right? Without connection, without care and affection, people get really ill. And I feel like as a man, well, the difference I feel between men and women is that women are more likely to offer each other support, more likely to, when other women are suffering, to go and comfort them, to go and hug them, to go and support them socially, to have a conversation about it. Whereas with men, it's like, who do you go to when you're feeling low, or you're feeling depressed, you're feeling deprived of like
yeah,
affection? And it's like I've always personally gravitated towards female friends because I know that's a source of affection and understanding. I've
yeah,
always, to be honest with you, had a kind of like conflicting relationship with like having guy friends.
yeah,
The ones I've had in the past would always have that kind of like, they wouldn't be able to talk about their emotions, whereas I'm someone who's quite sensitive. I feel a lot of things and I talk about it.
yeah.
And so I gravitated towards women because of that. And also, there's a whole stereotype of what it is to be a man, right? Like the whole stereotypes of like, oh, you've just got to get on with it, which is the worst stereotype in the entire world, I feel,
Yeah.
especially towards men, because we don't say this to women. We don't say, oh, just get on with it. Never
Well, it
say that.
leads, yeah, it leads to, sometimes leads to suicide, and
Yeah.
because, at the end, yeah, at the end of the day, like, I think it's really obviously a key point of, why we're
Yeah.
speaking. But
Yeah.
for me, growing up, without my dad in my life from the age of um 1 till 16,
Yeah.
we have a good relationship now, but that period of time, obviously, my reliance was, my relationship with my mum,
Mhm.
and that definitely, had an impact, I'd say, on me being able to, again, being able to speak to, to men or another man about feelings, until the change in, I think that obviously the change in my thought process towards that, was a situation that happened where I was, sent a suicide note and had to get to the person's house with, with paramedics, thankfully in time. And it really made me really look into it and start to understand that, people that are suffering with mental ill health or, bipolar and different conditions, the stigma around it, and especially for men, which I believe has helped me support the people that I work with and I support in Sobafit Academy on that level as well, because these things, they should be able to be expressed. I am a very open, a very open guy. Like, people, you can see from my LinkedIn posts that the stuff that I talk about. And I think it's really important to be vulnerable, to be able to speak about the things that are deemed, taboo in men's health, and hopefully to then show other guys that they can as well. And and I've had many conversations. A lot of the time, strangers, people that I've never spoken to before, would be comfortable with opening up to me, I guess, because they can see that I am open to that.
Yeah.
But it just really kind of, it's a subject that really does get to me, because I just wish that there was more support. And because I've seen it firsthand in this scenario, and that there wasn't the support that the person needed, what it led to and could have led to. And in most cases, there's so many young lives lost, as especially young men. And I just want to be the change to try to make a positive impact, to show men that there is another way of coping with the day-to-day stresses of life, because life is not one big fairy tale. It's it can be hard, stressful, jobs, relationship, financially, loss of a loss of someone. But the best coping mechanisms are personal development, and being the example. Being the example for example, if they've got their own kids, and being that role model that they wish they had as a child. And once again, I always go back to people that are feeling that lack and loss and mental health. I'm a complete advocate for exercise is the best drug in the world, not antidepressants, not anything that you can be prescribed by that you can be prescribed. But there is a way that you can cope, and it is it is working on yourself, and it is improving your coping mechanisms. It's having the systems, daily systems, that keep you on track, keep you on course to having a successful day. And it starts with, like I was saying, with the routine that I had, it starts with habit stacking from early, waking up at not a ridiculous time, like I was saying, but waking up at an earlier time to create that discipline. And in most cases, guys like like me, in my situation with family and working and time poor, the time that they get to work on themselves is the morning, instead of sleeping, and sleeping in, getting up, drinking a coffee or Red Bull on the way to work, and getting a McDonald's drive-through or whatever, fueling their body with, or not fueling their body, and then their energy starts to lack. The mindset, is lacking with it, and it certainly leads to not going to the gym in the evening because they're too tired, because they've got their energy, and because so it's just a knock-on effect. Whereas my people have a routine. They get up, train in the morning, whether it's at home or in the gym, or go for a run, or whatever it is, hydrated, having a good high protein breakfast, and keep them full up so that they're then not. And I believe that these systems and these habit stacking and to a successful day. If you have a successful day after, guess what? You feel better about things. You feel better about. If you feel better about. You there?
I think it's breaking up a little bit, Lee. I think our connection's slightly breaking up. I don't know what's happening. Technology.
It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. I'm not sure. What did you hear last? I can't remember.
It's starting to work now. It was all jumbled up for like about 30 seconds. I think it's starting to work again, Lee. Hopefully it's starting to work. I can see you again, I think.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
It's starting to, let's give it a few seconds to let it settle. Sometimes this happens with like connections. They'll kind of go a little bit off after a while.
Could be my connection as well.
I think it's starting to work. It's starting to work better now. I can see you moving, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, I can see you and hear you.
Okay. Let's continue then, Lee.
Yeah, where did you hear?
So I heard you talking about you were saying about the routine and high protein breakfast, etc. So that was the last bit I was catching.
Yeah, so I believe that having these daily systems in place, daily habit stacking, habit tracking, fueling your body right, having an evening routine where you are setting yourself up to have a good night's sleep. And if you just rinse and repeat that, guess what? You feel better about things, you feel better about your life, you feel better about who you are, because you are a person of intent and taking the action. And this is exactly what we do inside of the academy, is setting people up so that they can't fail, because the accountability is there, the tracking's there, as well as the framework to being a fit father, not just fathers who don't not work with people that aren't parents, but because of my background and my situation being a father, it's very easy for me to relate to the obstacles and challenges that they have, and have them covered and help them with that, because it can be a very stressful stressful thing, just being a father, and the pressure of work, and like you said, being that rock for your family that you need. It's absolutely essential to work on yourself. Absolutely essential, because if you're not working on yourself, you're self-sabotaging, And if you're self-sabotaging, I guarantee you're not showing up how your family needs you to show up, to be the role model that that you should be and that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were talking, I was just thinking about learning. The big part of that is learning what to do, the knowledge. Because the whole phrase of knowledge is power is really true. Like if you know what to do, then you can do it and get results.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of what you're doing is, like you said, setting people up with those systems so they can't fail because you're giving them that knowledge of like, okay, this is what you do.
Yeah.
And when they do it, then they feel better about it, really.
Absolutely. And people want quick fixes and fast results. It's just the way of way people see results. They want them quickly, but
yeah,
what we do is it's a lifetime lifestyle change. It's sustainable lifestyle changes. So it's not a quick 10 weeks you lose 20 pounds and then you're off the pro. When you're with us, you're with us for good, and it becomes a lifestyle. You become an active, healthy person. And I guess the way to really kind of describe it is that not only do we help you get fit mentally and physically, we help you stay fit mentally and physically, and building that resilience that no matter what life throws at you, you know that you can bounce back and be resistant to whatever comes your way, because it will, and if you're not ready for it, it will take you down. So
yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking, it was inspiring what you were sharing with me about how you were working out in your home gym during the pandemic and you were building that, and that's when you were deciding to do the coaching, from what I remember. And it got me thinking, for someone who's listening to us right now, watching us, what's a small action someone can take in terms of like fitness that someone can take that's small, that's not, some people might be intimidated by the gym. I know I am intimidated by gyms. I'm not a big gym person, so I do kind of yoga and stuff. But like, what's some kind of like small action someone can take even by themselves, and like you were doing in your home gym situation, where someone can feel like, oh, okay, I'm feeling better because I'm doing this one thing and it's helping me.
yeah, I mean the first thing to do is keep it simple. Just add 20-minute walk daily. Make it non-negotiable, whether it's in the morning. Best time is in the morning. Get sunlight, sets you up for the day, and just don't put too much pressure on it in the first. Don't be like, right, I'm gonna achieve this by this. If it's something that's completely new to you, then it's about creating small goals. And then these small goals always add up to one big goal. Sometimes you might not even know what the big goal is yet, but you're always, day by day, you're always moving closer and improving, and just keeping it dead simple. You could get some cheap dumbbells. YouTube is free. There's so much workouts on there, even without equipment. And when it comes to nutrition wise, just stick to good whole foods. Make sure that your protein levels are high. I mean, if you need to know what your calorie intake should be, and macros, then I'm always happy to tell people that information. That's not something that I hold back. I'd rather see people making the changes, making positive changes. And if they're ready, if people are ready to really make the change, then we have a seven day reset, which is 7 days of workout, 7 days of nutrition, habit tracking inside of your own private portal, and obviously 7 days of coaching. And even that alone can just give you a little bit of the kickstart and stacking that little bit of evidence that you are a person that works out, and you are a person of that takes action.
Yeah, I love that. That was golden advice, Lee. That was really great. You just got me thinking about the importance of measurement as well. I feel like you need to be able to see your results essentially. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot recently because I've started like a fitness thing where I'm doing yoga every day. It's a personal challenge. Been doing yoga for 10 plus years, but I've never done it daily. And I thought, okay, I'm going to push myself. I want to be even fitter than I am now. So I'm reading different books on fitness right now. And one of the big things they're mentioning is measurements. Measure something, measure the time that you spent walking, measure even, the diameter of if you're trying to be physically more fit, measure the diameter of your muscles and, your stomach and all of that stuff. So, and track it so you can see each week, like, okay, I've, increased the size of my muscles and I've decreased my stomach, for example, that kind of stuff. And I found that personally really powerful, so every day I'm tracking the time I spend exercising, and then weekly I'm measuring myself like, okay, like what's the results from all of this work? And I feel like boosted and motivated every Monday when I'm seeing, I'm getting results. Okay, I'm toning, my abs and my stomach, and I'm seeing clear results. And that's been powerful for me, just that measuring something. I know some people like weighing themselves. I hate that. I think it's useless.
I don't really. I'm kind of not against it, but that can become an unhealthy habit as well. And you're much better off. Obviously for me it's about how you feel. But if measure, we have kind of circumference measuring system inside of the academy when they do the check-ins, and that's a better way to see you're making progress. But progress doesn't, it's not untrue that progress doesn't happen overnight, but similar to business, it's not linear. It kind of goes like this and then it does go like that, but you need to stay committed, and having them small goals is the that's the thing that keeps you committed, keeps you your attention on it. Because otherwise, if you just got one big goal and it's taking ages to get there, you fall off. That's why people yo-yo diet, because they'll even to the extent of they'll do a certain type of diet, and they'll lose X amount of weight and loads of fat really quickly, unhealthily, and then realistically, because they've been starving themselves, like they haven't learned anything. So when they then stop that, they just put it all back on again. When you actually go through a process of learning about how to fuel your body and how to recover your body, then you've got them long-term sustainable habit, the knowledge and the habits, because you know what you're doing. It's not a case of like anyone could give anyone a meal plan. And I've had many coaches myself and had meal plans where it's the same meals for 6 months, and it's why I'm completely against restricted nutrition, because I was so sick of it that it made me then want to binge and detested it and felt like wanted to stop it. And you don't learn because you're only eating the same things, whereas
Yeah.
When we teach you how to track your calories and your macros, using our tracker, you actually start to develop the understanding of, oh, okay, so if I hit X amount of protein, then I feel fuller for longer.
Yeah.
You understand that carbs are not the enemy. To fuel your workouts, you need and to get good quality workouts in, you need carbs. So yeah, we debunk a lot of myths as well,
Mm.
inside of the academy, because always wanted my approach to be an approach of a sustainable approach. So it's not for anyone, wanting a quick fix.
Mm.
Um, it's for the people who want the long-term sustainable knowledge and lifestyle change. Um, and yeah, like I said, I'm always happy to. I've got so many resources
Mm.
around anxiety, nutrition, personal development, mindset, coaching, loads of different resources, ebooks, free courses. I'm always happy to to give them to people to help them
Mm.
develop. Because when we overcome something, I think it's our duty and obligation to pass that knowledge on and to help other people.
Mm.
And that's what I'm committed to doing.
I think that's a beautiful thing that you want to give back. I just think it's really great, and it's something that I really like about you a lot. Your willingness to help people, your mission essentially. I can feel your mission when you talk and your passion because you've been there and you know what it's like and you want to help people. It's a really inspiring thing, and I wish there was more men in mental health. It's something I really want to talk about, a point that I've been thinking about for a long time. So with making Union, I've been reaching out to a lot of people in the mental health space, and especially mental health students, psychology students, people in the field. And I was shocked at how few men there are. I was
Mm,
absolutely shocked. I don't know the statistics of it, but off the top of my head, I would say at least 95+% of those psychology students were women,
yeah,
possibly more. It could be like 97%. And that really shocked me because then men aren't always going to be feeling comfortable to open up to women. Some men want to open up to other men, and then,
yeah,
well, where's your mental health professional who's a man? If
mm,
there's not enough men who are going into the field of mental health, then
yeah,
how do you actually get that? And I think it's a huge problem. I think it's a huge something that people aren't talking about. We'll have conversations about, okay, there's not enough focus on male mental health, which I think there isn't. But then it's massively neglected that men aren't going into the mental health field. So how do we, actually even build things up if there's no men to serve the men who are suffering, right? There are
yeah,
millions of men, and like you mentioned earlier, more men than women commit suicide, quite substantially more from what I remember.
yeah,
And those men are being failed because where's their male mental health professionals? They're not there.
yeah,
Because men aren't going into the mental health field. I don't know why. Maybe it's the perception again that it's more of a women's field, which is completely wrong.
mm,
Or maybe because we have a societal problem of we stereotype women as being sociable and being caring and being loving and there to care and support for people. But we don't do that for men. We don't have a view of like, okay, men are caring and loving, and which we are as a gender, men are caring and loving, but the stereotype is that men have to be, some kind of robot with no feelings who's, I feel like as a man saying that you're in need of love or something and you're in need of affection and intimacy it's like it's something that people don't do as a man
Yeah.
because and I think that's because of the stereotypes that we have in the well, in our society of like what it is to be a man, you have to be X, Y, Z. And I think maybe that's why it's filtering through to the lack of male mental health professionals, lack of people who are willing to like open up about their experience, like you and I.
Yeah.
Um, so this is my way of saying I think it's great what you're doing, and also I just want to bring it up because it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in the UK right now. And so I've been thinking a lot about, what is it to be a man who struggles with your mental health or just to be a man in general.
Mm.
And, there are so many expectations on what you should be. And I feel like that's failing us in terms of mental health professionals because they're not there because they don't want to be there because they haven't been I feel like maybe they haven't even thought that it's a thing they can do. You can go into mental health, you can be caring, you can be supportive, you can be loving to people, you can be a role model like you are. And imagine if we had a world where, say, 50% of those students are men, those psychology students who go on to be counselors, who go on to be psychologists, who go on to be psychiatrists. Imagine if at least 50% are men. And then when a guy comes to counseling, which is already hard, to go to a counselor and to admit that you have, something that you need support with, um, and then they're met with a loving and kind man. It's like, okay, there's your role model there.
Mm.
Because I've been through a lot of counseling, especially on the NHS, which to be honest is bad. That's another whole problem. But the majority of those counselors were women, and they were very nice, and the majority of them. But I rarely saw a male mental health professional, and not ones that I would associate with the qualities of being caring, of being supportive, that kind of stuff. So, what do you think we have to do to get more men to open up and to take on this challenge of like, okay, I'm actually going to embrace, I'm going to be a caring man, and I'm going to care, and I'm going to go and help people who are struggling. What do you think we've got to do to make a change?
Yeah, great question. I think I always would come at it from my angle, and I think that when people overcome their own stuff, that it's a natural pathway to then, especially in recovery, it's a natural pathway to then want to help people in the same way. I did my level 3 mental health, some kind of diploma after that scenario that I said about.
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, I consider, the support that I offer to be mental health support as well because of the attachment to physical and mental health and the advocate, how much I believe in that.
Yeah.
And I believe that there are a lot as well of great guy coaches out there who are doing the same thing. And even, people speaking, influencing on social media. Like there are, especially in the sobriety
Mhm.
arena, because that's kind of where I am, and I see a lot of that, a lot of that support there. And I think it's probably because the people that are going through recovery or have lost their ego, and are able to be open to help people. But I
Mhm.
also think that, like being a teacher and a nurse and anything else that really does make a difference in the world, that it's not rewarded in the way that it should be. It's very difficult to, um, probably difficult to survive, certainly you couldn't as a kind of a, transferring from a career to
Mhm.
being into that line of work, because it's financially it would be very difficult.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of full circle really of what we've started talking about, with the education system and
Yeah.
what is important. what what is educated to us, what is the support like for people who are, whether they're addicts or having mental health problems and stuff like that. They're just, there isn't the support. And I think that's why it's so important for individuals to be able to support people in different ways, rather than just the general way of, therapy or counseling. Because, like you said there, if there isn't that connection in the first place, then it's going to be very difficult for the person to open up anyway. And it comes back to a kind of a no like and trust scenario. Like, that person, they have to feel comfortable to open up. And then when you have someone that is being vulnerable and sharing, their past and what they've overcome, that straight away that there could be a connection, rather than someone who's just done it because it's a profession. So I think experience of overcoming something, in my opinion, is more relatable than some certification or someone's career as such. Where you just where people probably feel like, and I know this from experience, as I said, feel like just a number, and not really feel understood, not really feel like you really understand their pain points, and let's be honest, like, that you have a resolution for their pain points. And it's hard, kind of harsh reality that maybe the support just isn't there. So we have to do our bits as human beings to help people, because we've been able to overcome the same things. And that's my mission, my why. I want to start the very first fitness recovery sober house. That's my dream. That's my ambition, to be able to offer that support for someone, where people can go and use the same mechanisms that I've used to overcome my stuff, and come out of it with physical and mental resilience and results. Because yourself, when you start yoga and you're doing yoga, you're someone that does yoga now. So you're not just going to go, do you know what, I'm not going to do yoga again. Like,
exactly.
It's that same thing with the habit loop. And this is another really important thing if someone is trying to build new healthy habits, is you have your cue, routine, and your reward. And you can't delete habits out, but you can replace them. So you can replace an unhealthy habit with a healthier habit, going for a run, going to the gym. But you need to make sure that the cue, for example, mine was always getting my fitness, getting my gym clothes out, having it at the end of the bed, and then the reward would be, I love my eggs in the morning, so it's always my reward would be, an omelette, something that someone else could use, something else that is a reward You know, might even be a bit of chocolate or whatever, but that's how you cement the habits. That's how you build successful habits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really inspiring as well, and it's powerful. And I was thinking of the term, but I can't remember the term, but it's something like being consistent, the consistency principle of, as in, we stay very consistent as human beings when it comes to our personality and who we are. And so when you suddenly become like you mentioned, like I'm someone who does yoga, when you suddenly have that identity, then you conform with your behaviors more readily to that identity and that characteristic. So it's something I noticed that I wasn't expecting when I started doing this daily yoga challenge. I'm on day 42 right now, is that I stopped eating chocolate completely. And I love chocolate. It's my one thing. I eat very healthily, but I would, at the end of the day, when I would feel tired, sometimes I would go and, go to the box where I have the, chocolate bars and stuff, and I would have a chocolate bar. That would be like my kind of thing. And then I started doing the daily yoga, and when I went to go past the chocolate bars, I just thought, oh, I don't want that. I've put so much effort into this yoga routine. Um, I'm someone who does this and not who has the chocolate. It's kind of, I wasn't expecting that, but it changed my
Yeah,
behavior through actually being consistently something, as in I'm a person who does yoga every day now, so therefore I don't have the chocolate. And I wasn't expecting that. That was a big
yeah,
surprise. And now even just doing that for, the past few weeks, I've noticed that, and I'm a great lover of sweet things, chocolate and everything like this. But I noticed when, the few times where I have treated myself to a little bit of chocolate or something, I don't enjoy it so much anymore.
yeah,
Because I feel, I don't know, I've gone off the kind of sweetness of it because I'm more used to having things that are less sweet now because I'm having it less. So
yeah,
it's like what you were saying. Once you replace one habit with a slightly different habit, then you start behaving in different ways than you even expected.
yeah,
And I wasn't planning, I didn't set off to I didn't have the goal of, oh, I'm going to stop eating chocolate. That was not the goal. I just thought like, oh, I'm going to do yoga every day. I want to feel fitter. And then I stopped having sweet stuff so much, which was really surprising to me. And I think that's something that I really feel that people don't talk about when it comes to habit change and formation is you can do one thing that's unrelated and then it changes other habits.
yeah,
It's
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
maybe it might even just be buying like a new pair of running shoes and you have the running shoes, so you're like, okay, I feel like I need to use those now. So you go out running or walking,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
You feel the part, so you do. Yeah.
exactly.
There's a very good point. Like you can,
Yeah.
you know, and you should if 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 you are going to start a new fitness journey, you're like, yeah, buy some new gym clothes. That that
Yeah.
is almost rewarding yourself beforehand
Yeah.
and giving you that that little that is a little motivation to oh, I'm going to put them on and go to the gym.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can form at any point in your life, you can form a new identity,
Yeah.
and that goes for good and bad. And I know from both scenarios that that is possible.
Mhm.
It wouldn't take long. I could start drinking again, and then it wouldn't take long for me to be the identity that I was before, because I'm an addict, but now I'm addicted to personal development, and I'm addicted to um, obviously addicted to the gym, but for me it's more than the gym. It's my therapy.
Mhm.
It's my it's my daily therapy where um, I get to, and this is why I go when my family is still asleep, because I get to go and be not be distracted, not
Mhm.
be called and to do this. This is my time
Mhm.
to work on me because I deserve it,
Yeah.
and I deserve to the self-love, and I deserve to develop myself because it's my birthright. And that's something that Beatrix, who I said about earlier, she told me. And it's, again, rewiring. At any point in your life, you can rewire your beliefs. You can change your life. All you need to do is have the belief you can do it, get around people that are doing it, and anything is possible. And I'm, please do, anyone reach out if you need any kind of support, whether it's mental health or to start a new pathway in your life. Do not sit in silence. Take action, and you will be rewarded.
That was really lovely. I really enjoyed talking with you, Lee. Really enjoyed talking with you. I want to round things off by asking you, is there something that you wanted to talk about that we never got a chance to talk about? Or is there anything that, you'd like to say to kind of round things off?
Yeah, I think it's been really good conversation. I'm pretty sure it'll be first of many, because this is something that I'm really passionate about. And I think really how I'd like to end it is just letting people know that you can be whatever you want to be. If you want, your mind can be your best friend or it can be your worst enemy. You have that choice, and you get to make that choice every single day. For example, if you wake up and you're straight on your phone and scrolling and not eating breakfast and rolling to work, maybe even hungover, whatever, then you form that identity of that. Whereas if you're getting up, early, you're working on yourself, whether it's with yoga like you do, or reading positive, like feeding your brain positive information, any toxic relationships that you're in, or a job that you hate, cut it off. Life is too short, and you can achieve anything you want to if you believe you can. And I believe you can. I know you can. And if you need help with that, come with me. And yeah, that's it.
That was really, really beautiful. And last conversation we had, I called you elegant with your words, and you said no one had ever called you that before, but I think you very much are. You're really elegant and powerful when you talk about your experience and about helping people. And I really appreciate that about you. I really like that about you, and we'll definitely have many more conversations. I like you as a person a lot, Lee. You probably can tell. And it's not often that I get to talk with a guy who's so open and so invested in helping people, and also self-development as well, just like me. And one of the unexpected joys of making Union has been meeting fantastic people, and you're one of them, which has been really, really nice.
Oh, thanks. That's kind. Very kind.
I just wanted to give you a space to plug everything that you're doing. Of course, in the video notes and everything, the description, we'll put links to your social media, your website, everything. But just tell us where we can find you online and how we can get in touch with you.
Yeah. So Instagram, Sobafit Legacy, and yeah, obviously I will put the links as well below in the comments. As I say, we run a 7-day free challenge that people can dip their toe in and get a feel for exactly what we do, because as I was saying earlier, it's all about action. But essentially, we empower men to believe in themselves, to get in the best shape of their life, to drop the vices, to stop relying on things that are having a negative impact on their life, whether it's alcohol, drugs, gambling, like I was saying, relationships. is sometimes something I'm not necessarily qualified in, but I've got experience in. And basically, we just want to see men win, and we have a community of winning men, and come and join us. Come for a conversation. That's all it starts with, and see if it's a good fit for you. And as I say, I guarantee that what we guarantee, because it is a lifetime membership when people join in our academy, which will the founders opportunity will end at the start of December. So between now and then, they can join as a founder member, which means they get lifetime access. They're part of the furniture. They'll have an opportunity to have an impact, and even in discussions with some guys who will also then become coaches and recreate the whole process and expand the impact, help more people. So come and be a part of something that will make a huge difference. And once again, don't suffer in silence. Speak to someone, take the action, make the change, because you deserve it, and the people around you deserve you to be at your best. You can't pour from an empty cup. So thanks for the conversation, Simon. It's been really enjoyed it. And so I'm sure we'll speak again. And I'm inside the Unaeon app as well, which obviously urge people to join up. It's an amazing concept, and you'll be able to get the support you need inside of there as well.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and go and check out all of Lee's stuff, because Lee's doing really great work to help people. I really admire you for that. And thank you for the plug about Unaeon as well. Unaeon, I'll mention a little bit about Unaeon now. So Unaeon is a supportive social network for mental health and well-being. And hopefully in the future, Lee will have some workouts in there as well. We're going to work on that in the future.
Absolutely.
To get some these awesome physical, exercise into our app. We're missing that right now. But we have things like support groups and communities, posting, and we're working on a bunch of well-being features like mood tracking, journaling, and different coping strategy sequences like breathing techniques, grounding techniques. So yeah, we're here to support everyone essentially, to help people make friends, to make communities. And we'd love to have you there as well. We're available on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And you can check us out at www.unaeon.com. It's a quirky spelling, UNAEON.com. And I'm going to put all of the links in the description of the video when we share it. So please check out all Lee's doing. And if you want to download our app, there's a link to our website for you to do so. Thank you so much, Lee. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate the conversation and your time. And we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop the recording and then kind of say goodnight to you after that. So thank you so much, Lee.
Thanks, Simon.